Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something really foundational. It's sparked by a passage in 2 Kings chapter 17.
That's right. Specifically, verse 28, where it says, So one of the priests who had been exiled from Samaria came to live in Bethel and taught them how to worship the Lord.
And that line, well, it just opens up this big question for all of us, doesn't it?
It really does. Like, what does it actually mean to worship God wholeheartedly? Especially today, with so many distractions pulling at us.
Exactly. How do we cut through all that noise? We know you want the real insights without getting overwhelmed, so that's our focus, getting to the heart of genuine worship.
Okay, so let's start with maybe the flip side. The problem of, divided worship.
Yeah, let's look at that historical picture from 2 Kings 17 first. You had these new people moving into Israel.
And they learned about the Lord, but they didn't let go of their old gods. They kept worshiping those too.
So it was this kind of mixed bag, a half-hearted thing.
Definitely. And ultimately, it was disobedient. It wasn't what God intended at all.
And it's tempting to think, oh, that was them back then.
Right. Ancient history.
But if we're being honest, we face similar things, maybe just in different forms.
Absolutely. We might not bow down to statues, but what about, say, the relentless pursuit of success?
Or clinging to comfort? Or that need for approval from others?
Yes. Or even the desire for control over everything. These things can subtly become our modern-day idols. They compete for our devotion.
It reminds me of that saying, God isn't interested in part-time worship.
He wants our whole hearts. That need for approval you mentioned, it's a powerful one. It can really shift our focus if we start caring more about what people think than what God asks.
Yeah, it becomes an allegiance issue, doesn't it?
It does, because God isn't just supposed to be one option on our list. He desires exclusive devotion.
So trying to juggle God and these other things, it just doesn't work.
It really doesn't. That kind of divided worship, it isn't genuine worship at all. It's more about managing our own priorities than truly honoring Him.
It definitely makes you stop and think, am I holding on to something that's competing with God in my own life?
Yeah, those are tough questions.
Is my worship just routine, or is it something that actually shapes my decisions, my actions, more than just showing up on a Sunday?
Which brings us nicely to the second point. Yeah. How do we actually learn true worship?
Right, because the passage mentions God sent a priest to teach them. He provided a way.
He did. But even with that instruction, they still kind of clung to their old ways, didn't they? They wanted the appearance of devotion, maybe, but not the full surrender.
That's revealing. It shows that true worship isn't just instinctive. It's not something we automatically know how to do.
No, it's learned. It takes learning through Scripture, through being part of a community of faith.
And through obedience, right? Actually doing what we learn.
Exactly. And the good news is, God is patient with us in that process, but we have to be willing learners.
So some practical thoughts for you listening. It's not enough just to know things about God.
Right. That knowledge needs to actually influence our choices, our day-to-day lives.
And community is vital. We need others for teaching, sometimes for correction.
And encouragement, too.
We need to be actively seeking God's guidance, through the Bible, through prayer, not just occasionally, but regularly, daily even.
And being open, really open, to changing old habits or ways of thinking that might be hindering that genuine worship.
It's about growth, willingness to change.
Yeah. So pulling it all together, what this passage really highlights, the core message, is that wholehearted worship is what God desires. Nothing less.
No compromises, no half measures.
Right. And that means we need to constantly examine our own loyalties. Where is our heart really at?
And actively keep learning, keep growing in what it means to worship Him fully.
So perhaps the final thought to leave you with, something to really mull over after this deep dive.
What would it actually look like in your life right now to give your whole heart to worship? Not just a piece, but the whole thing.
That's the question, isn't it? Something to really sit with.